In Genesis, Joseph got the blessing from his father, and he was told, Joseph is a fruitful branch. There's a key there, a fruitful branch. Messiah's will for this year, for your life, is that you bear much fruit and your fruit remains. Now, a cool thing, we were just at Nazareth this past autumn, and it says in the Bible that when Jesus went to Nazareth, or when his parents did, or when Joseph and Mary, it says they went there, as it was written, the prophet said he shall be called a Nazarene. And you look at that, but if you go to find the verse in the Hebrew Scriptures, where does it say he shall be called a Nazarene? It's not there. You won't find it anywhere in the Hebrew Scriptures. What does that mean? Is there a mistake? No. It doesn't say the prophet said. It says the prophets said. So what does that mean? It wasn't one verse. It's talking about the whole prophetic word. And so here's the thing. Throughout the Hebrew Scriptures, Jesus, Yeshua, Messiah, the Messiah of Israel, as it's prophesying, is called the branch. It's called the branch. In Hebrew, one of the words for branch is semach. Try it. You got a lot of chuz tonight. It's okay. You'll survive. You can rest later. Semach. That's what it means, something that kind of sprouts out and grows. It's a branch, the branch. And Jeremiah says, Messiah, the man called the branch, or Zechariah, or my servant, the branch, the man called the branch. It's throughout. But then there is this one scripture of the branch in Isaiah 11, when it says, a shoot shall spring from the stem of Jesse, right? Famous one. But the word there for branch is the word netzer. Try it. Netzer. Well, when you get netzer, Netzeret becomes Nazareth. So here he's called the netzer, the branch, the prophets, the branch, he's called the branch. And then from Netzer, you get Netzeret, which is how we say it, we know as Nazareth. Well, so Messiah grew up in the place called the branch place. That's where a branch grows up. He sprouted up. How cool, how perfect. But here's a secret for a fruitful life. Messiah is the branch. So it's called Jesus the Nazarene because he was from Nazareth, but it also means Yeshua, the Messiah, is the branch. What does a branch do? A branch produces fruit. What produces fruit? A branch does. So if you're a branch, why is he the branch? Many reasons, but one reason is he's the most fruitful one who ever lived. He's the most fruitful one. And what's one of the first names that believers were ever called? They were called Nazarenes. Okay, right? But in Hebrew, that would be like little branches. We are branches. He's the branch, we're branches. So one of the key secrets of your life to have a year of fruitfulness, how do you bear fruit? It's found in the branch. What is a branch? A branch is a vessel. A branch has two ends, right? One end, if it's a certain size, if it's completed, one end goes to the tree. The other end bears the fruit, correct? So what does that mean? One end is always receiving. And it's getting the sap, it's getting the nutrients. And you can't see what it's doing. It's happening inside. It's happening invisible. So the first thing of a fruitful life is that Messiah was that. He was always receiving from God, from the Father, always. He's the one who went up. It says he went up to pray. He went up to him, Father. You're always in prayer in the presence of God. So he's receiving from God every moment. He's receiving. So the first key of a fruitful life is receiving from God. And that's that's the faith part. Because faith is what opens the door to receive from God. The trust, the time in God's presence, the receiving of his love, the receiving of all that is God. If we don't do that, we got nothing. You're only saved because you did that. Whoever has many has received. So receiving. But then the other end of the branch is not receiving, really. It's producing, and it's producing fruit and leaves. It's producing, and it's visible, and the world can see it. So what's the other side? The other side of the branch is it's receiving, and it's always giving, producing, works, action, because you can see it. Everybody can see the fruit. So it's what you do in your life, that's your fruit. What people can see. I mean, what touches the world, what touches others, what you give to others, how you bless others, your ministry, all those things. That's the fruit of your life. All the good that God put in, but that's the fruit of your life. When it goes out, it's the fruit. So here is the key, right here. And that is the secret of the fruitful. It sounds, we know about branches our whole life. Yet this can change your life if you do what the branch does. See, a lot of believers, you're branches, but you're not taking time to be against the tree, to be with the tree. So what's happening? What happens if a branch is not connected to the tree? It dies, it withers, it can't produce much. It starts growing dead. Well, if you're not plugged into God, if you're not taking that time with God, you're eventually going to spiritually die. And what happens if a branch is receiving but it's not producing? Well, something's wrong with that branch. It's going to stop. So there it is again. Batach, receiving. Asa, producing, doing. And for the branch, it's not 50-50. Okay, half the time I'm going to be receiving, half the time I'm going to be producing fruit. No, it's 100% receiving, 100% producing. Why? It's the same river. It's the same flow. What's flowing in is flowing out. That's the fruitful life. That's it. It says, work out your salvation because it's God working. It's working in me and I'm working out on it. What does that mean? It means that every true work that you're to do from God, don't try to do it on your own. We naturally go right into it because we're doing all sorts of things and we think we're going to do that too. So now I'm going to do this from this. Well, then it's not plugged in. I'm just trying to produce it. There's no flow. I'm trying to produce something from nothing. There's no flow. But the fruitful life is what has first flowed in is now flowing out. That means every true work of God that comes out of your life is real. Every true thing you do, every good work is really God's work that just flowed out of you. It flowed into you, but now it flowed out of you, so it's counted as your work, but it's God's work. So every good work has to come like a fruit that has just flown right through you. Every good work, whatever you're doing. Whether you're preaching, whether you're teaching, whether you're helping out, with cleaning the sanctuary, serving food, doing computers, giving, blessing somebody, it's all got to be part of that river, part of that flow. It is the outflowing of God's inflowing. The outflow is the inflow at the other side. It all goes together. So your faith has to be in proportion to your actions and your actions to your faith. In other words, if you got great faith, but you're not producing great things for God, there's a disconnect. There's waste. There's something that's not happening. There's a disconnect there. And if you're doing a lot of great things, but you're not spending time in God's presence, there's a disconnect. If there's going to be waste, because what you're doing, what are you doing anyway? If it's not coming from God. So we need both. If one exceeds the other, that's where you get the part that's not going to be fruitful. That's the part that's going to be wasted. Or to put it another way, I've put it this way: your fruitfulness in your life, your fruitfulness will not exceed your rootfulness. You can just remember that. Put it on your bumper sticker. Just remember that. You want to do greater works, then you want greater branches. You want farther branches, then you need deeper roots. You need that you and God, your time with Him, your receiving of Him is crucial to flow, but not to stop there in your quiet time. It's not quiet time and then my other time. That's to flow in.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA.